Hi, just me again, just Bob. Uh, yeah, I've been, God, I really got busy the last few days, and I've been trying to get time to do this. I had a question from my cousin in Norway on the last video I had. Oiver is her name, and she lives in Norway, and she's related to my mom's side of my family. So anyway, she had a question. She wanted to know if I could elaborate more on that, the light that I was talking about when I had my experience. And I thought, yeah, I probably should because I only call it a light because that's in the 3D. That's what we call it. It is we call it light, but this isn't that kind of light because it didn't have a source. It wasn't coming from anywhere. It was just everywhere. And yet it seemed to be coming outward from me, like I was in the light, part of it. Not that I was generating it, but maybe a little bit of that. Like more like it was a conversation, a two-way, well, an alternating light, alternating current. It was going back and forth. So there was this conversation going on. And it wasn't that you, like here, we see a light, but we don't understand what the heck that light is because you really don't see it. You can see the light bulb, but that's not the light. That's the light getting reflected off the glass that it's passing through. Even a LED is encased in a plastic or clear substance that is reflective from back to the inside when you try to project. So there is light isn't something that we can see traveling through the air or even it's there, but nothing is moving because there's light here right in front of me right now. And we're totally unaware of it until something stands up and reflects off of it. Now we can see the illumination on here, but there's nothing in between here and here to see or even feel. We can feel if the light hits us, the sun, it's warm. It's because it is a radio frequency, a radiation, and it comes out of that electromagnetic field. It's just one little tiny fragment of that energy field that is visible light, meaning we can see it when it reflects off of something. It becomes visible, we say, but it isn't really visible. It is energized. So the ability, the atmosphere creates this ability like we're living inside of a fluorescent tube. The radiation, the energy of the electromagnetic field causes it to energize, which then reflects light, that light, energy, off of everything around it that can reflect anything. But it's not the light that is the thing, it's the electromagnetic field that is coming in through our eyes, hitting the retina, and it is being changed into this feeling of warmth by the heat that it generates, and also it can create a wind. The light and the heat that comes out of the light from the sun is what creates wind, because on the earth we have this temperature thing, duality, the hot and the cold. And when cold air drops and hot air rises, well, if they're inverted and they're trying to get to each other, so when that happens, when they hit together, one slides off and the other goes up and one comes down, we get a wind. Okay, I live in an area where that's so prevalent because our prevailing weather comes out of Hawaii, and I have a set of mountains between me and Hawaii that get hit with that wind that comes out of Hawaii. We call the Pineapple Express. and it sends that wind straight up in the air. And what it does is creates a vortex behind it, and that's where I live, in that vortex. We call it the blue hole. And around me, they get 36 inches of rain a year. But inside of this blue hole, that's about 20-mile diameter probably, maybe more at times, and it's created by those Olympic mountains leaving this vortex. And we only get between 10 and 12 inches of rain a year. So we have this freak thing, and it's mostly prevalent in the wintertime, but it'll open up the blue sky over us, and it'll be storm clouds all the way around us. And it'll persist during anything that's coming from that direction. It'll get that effect. Now, in the winter, sometimes we get weather comes out of Canada, and that really messes things up. That Fraser River Valley can send freezing ice storms down here that will totally upset the whole environment for a while, because it is now trapped on the other side of those Olympic mountains. So now it creates a vortex of cold air blowing around through the whole Puget Sound area, and everybody freezes because the hot air can't come in. It's just the cold air has locked in the whole valley, and the whole valley is nothing but water in the middle of the Puget Sound. So when we say it's light, that it presented itself as light. It's the only thing I, in my mind, can create an definition to fit it, is that it was a light. But it was actually so active, so energetic, that it couldn't be classified as light, because light is just one tiny spectrum of that electromagnetic field. And it goes from, most of it you can't see or feel. It's just there. And so that doesn't qualify for what it was I was in, because I was in the midst of an energetic field that is all encompassing, and it's all about feeling. And once you do feel it, it's not like there's words attached to it, but there's information that gets stored in your memory. And from then on, every time something synchronistic happens and takes me back to another time, another place, it reminds me of something else that is maybe in the now, or maybe I'm seeing something now that is reminding me something from the past. And those recollections can be from other past lives. So if you don't believe in reincarnation, you're missing out on the majority of your consciousness, your existence, because it is very real. And it's not only that, time doesn't exist. It's not linear. So it's happening as we speak, but it's not real until you actually feel it. So this gets really weird, but if you open up a book, you go to your shelf and you find an encyclopedia, and you open it up, and you look at the beginning, and it's organized alphabetically. So there is a time between the A and the Z that takes you to travel through that page. You have to turn the page and flip it over. So if on the front cover of the book you made a mark and you drew a line across the cover to the edge where the book opens, and then went inside and you drew a line across every page, front and back, through that whole book, and then on the cover itself, and stopped halfway through the other cover, you would have a continuous line going through that whole book. And if you were able to stretch out those pages so that you could see that line, you would still only be seeing half of it, because the other half's on the other side of the paper. But now, the distance between the two dots on the cover are inches. where if you stretch it out, it could be a mile. So that line is time, but when you compress it, it's one page against the other. But like I said, you're following that line on both sides of the page and back out and back in and back out. It's like an accordion. There's two sides to that too. So you gotta, when it's stretched out, you got one side, there's the other side of that line. But it has no beginning and no end because it continues on the other side. And the other side is, the original side is where it began and ended on the two covers. But when you stretch it out, you can't see that or the other side. So you either have the starting points here and there on this side, or they're on the other side, in which case duality, equal but opposite. So that light, again, it isn't light. It's energy, and it is dense and has feeling. And it has an intelligence that feels like a supreme being is talking to you. But that supreme being is not a supreme being, it is you. When in the body, you have a consciousness. When out of the body, you have your being, which is everything. And it is only in you. You are separate from everybody else while you're in the body. But when you leave the body and we go back to source, and that is each of us now are becoming and marrying into each other all the way around and becoming one. And all those feelings that all of us have had all over the universe is now coming together at a singularity, and we all get to experience it. But then what good is it without the duality? Because now, okay, you get to feel it, but you become addicted to this life. Because that feeling of that duality gives us a purpose. We always have something to look for other than what it is we're seeing, because it's dualistic. There's another side to it. And we can only feel that when we kind of stretch it out, which means we have to actually go into that timeline and feel it from one end to the other, whether it's 100 years or 1,000 years, or if it's a day. That entire experience gets experienced by us as a memory. And I call it the Akashic record. It's kind of like this place where everything that I've ever learned in my entire life, all of my lives, is stored. And we each have one, and we recall it constantly, but our memories can't recall where we got that information, but we get it, and we don't trust it because we don't understand it. But it's all about vibration. So we go from the beginning of our lives, we have a very, very low vibration. We're just learning things. Maybe we came in here in the Stone Age, probably did, all of us. So we come up through that education of life after life after life. Each life you finish gives you a higher vibration on the next. So then it staircases up. And when you get to this level where it's not a ceiling, but you've reached a plateau where that's all you can learn in this physical world, you need to take that next step, but it doesn't include the body. The body is physical. The three-dimensional creates the illusion of a physical. The fourth dimension is you observing the third, the three dimension. And if you want to call it a fifth dimension, it's just the awareness of all of it, and you come back together as one. So all that experience, now you're at a point where you're going to shift up into that oneness, but take that duality that thing that we love so much, that that feeling of no matter what it is we see, we get a reaction, equal but opposite. So that opens the door for a lot. But when you get down to it, if you're always looking at that negative, pretty soon that becomes the norm because it's the one that's always in front of you, equal but opposite. So whenever you take a step forward, it's taking a step backward. So it's always right in your face, no matter where you go down the sidewalk. It's right there. It's telling you, what if this happens? Look out up here. This might happen. Oh gosh, what if that? And it's endless, relentless. It is its purpose is to keep you on alert and keep you in fear, because that is what drives that other side. So if you can eliminate the fear, that negativity, the feeling of it, I'm not talking about you, the ego is still going to be there. He's still going to have all this what if, what at, whatever. But you are going to be able to take that individual entity, that negativity, that duality, and bring it into yourself. So it is no longer you and it. It is you, the higher self, and it. Now there's not three of you, there's only two. And it is within you, which makes it part of one, because the singularity has nothing outside of itself. So now this is controlled. We're elevating into the next generation that is normally going to be just an energetic vibratory place at a higher frequency, but it eliminated the need for the body. Well, now we can still enjoy that addiction that we have to this fear. We didn't build roller coasters to stand on the ground and watch it go up and down and around and over and all. We wanted the ride. So the fear is something we seek. It's the pain that it causes that we hate. We don't fear death, we fear dying. And there's something there to fear if there's a lot of pain, but yet if that dualistic pain isn't available to give you an outside feeling, it's only within. It's now just a dialogue to give you a sense of the duality, to make you feel better, because just love and peace and quiet isn't enough. We want this physical feeling, this body, but we don't want to be encumbered by it. So we have this superposition we're going to be living in, probably. The only way I can figure it. It's kind of like, I don't know, the supercomputers that they're building right now. They are putting everything into a superposition. There is no more just right or wrong. There is a middle. But even more than that, there's a division in the middle. So you've got a positive and a negative divided in the middle by a neutral. But then the neutral has a positive neutral and a negative neutral. But it's all irrelevant. All it means is information is going from one to the other. And we label one positive and one negative. One has it, one doesn't. One's getting it and the other's got it. So it's transferring information. And the smaller you make something, the faster you can travel from one thing to the other. So these supercomputers have got down to the nano scale that is just unbelievably small, and the speed at which it can compute is going to be unbelievably fast. Capable probably of creating an outside world that would be comparable to the thing that our consciousness creates. So our physical purpose might not be needed for anything other than to house us. And we don't really need that. So if we get this superposition where we're not a body, but we are all of the energy that is within it and all of the feelings that you could have with it. But yet, you don't have to have a physical body. That would be heaven on earth. When something feels good, we understand why it feels good because we know now what it felt like when we didn't have it. Or we knew what it felt like when it was against us instead of for us and helping us and loving us. It turned into something else: hatred, anger, jealousy, rage, fear, all of that. We're addicted to it. We can't just say, we have to work with it. So that whole thing with light, it's all energy. It's all part of an electromagnetic field, and so are you. And everything, when anything is created, it creates a field. When two come together, it makes a field. Electron and a photon, a proton, come together and make light. But yet the light isn't what they're making. They're just isolating it. They're saying, look here, this is the light. This little tiny bit of the frequencies that are in this electromagnetic field you can see. So focus on that. That's the particle. Light's a particle now. You just look at it and imagine it's traveling from here to there real fast. But it isn't. It's the energy that is illuminating everything instantly. It's always there. It just has to have somebody here to see it, or it doesn't exist. If a tree falls in the woods and nobody is there to hear it, did it make a sound? No, it made a sound wave, but it didn't have anybody to hear it. It never made a sound. I got about $12,000 worth of hearing aids in my ears because my sound got out of frequency. Now I hear perfect. At least I think I do. In fact, it's amazing because these new things, I have one behind each ear and they go in, but when I hear somebody speaking, the sound is manifested right in front of me, within reach. I can feel the vibrations in my hands almost. And that's just amazing to me because the old hearing aids I had, everybody was running up behind me, it sounded like. No matter if they were coming straight at me, I could only hear from behind. So it was startling. Now, I don't know how they do it. Multiple microphones maybe. But I can also, when the phone rings, I just tap on it and it comes into my ears. And so my phone is not coming in from the outside. It's in my head. And it was something to behold when the first time they put it on and turned it on. She says, okay, now say something. And I did. And it played it back. And the playback was so, holy crap, it sounded like I was speaking from within my own forehead. So it's amazing what they can do. Plus the thing that you can talk on the phone, I can listen to anything that's Bluetooth, I can tie into it. I wonder if that works with other, God, I wonder if somebody else is wearing hearing aids. Can I tap into their Bluetooth and hear their conversations and vice versa? Ooh. Yeah. So, anyway, I think I better cut it off here. It's been another 20-minute deal. I don't know how you ever make these short movies. They're supposed to be, what, 3 or 4 minutes? Anyway, well, have a good day. Thanks for watching. Click the like button if you like it. And if you have any questions, put it in the chat. I love to talk. And however, I hope I answered your question. It was a hard one to figure out how to answer because of, well, what I just described. When you start stepping out of here in this life and trying to understand things in the other life, you can't do the three-dimensional thing. It is a fifth dimension. It is a different type of energy. So, anyway, have a good one. Talk to you all later.